For these,
help me pass.
you can see.
Okay.
Right? So a couple things that you can see on this one. Right. First thing, cerebrum.
Okay.
And then cerebellum. Right. So the two different kind of main regions that you can see. Inside the cerebrum, you can actually make out the folds, those ridges, the gyri, like that. And then in between them, these are the sulci, the little grooves. Okay.
Okay.
You can also see corpus callosum, nice and white right there. Corpus callosum, bright and white. Okay, and then when you go kind of beneath that, then you can make out this circle of the thalamus right there.
Thalamus.
And then surrounding the thalamus, you have a pretty good third ventricle. That depression that you see right there is the third ventricle right there. Okay, so pretty good third ventricle right here. If you see the thalamus and then the optic chiasm, again, bright white like muscle, bright white nervous tissue right there. In between the thalamus and the optic chiasm, this region is the hypothalamus.
Hypothalamus.
Now get below that, and you can also see the pituitary gland. So here's the thalamus, and you go all the way down, and there's pituitary. Go back to the thalamus, and you go above and behind it, and there's the pineal gland right here. Pineal gland. You can also see this bump here is the superior colliculus, and that tells you that you're dealing with the midbrain now. So with the superior colliculus, the aqueduct of the midbrain, there's the aqueduct is passing through. So if you can see the superior colliculus, then you know you've got the aqueduct underneath it right there.
Okay.
Okay, so the third ventricle goes to the aqueduct, which now leads to the fourth ventricle, which is between the cerebellum and the medulla down here. So there's fourth ventricle right there.
Okay.
The cerebellum also has the white matter here. This is the arbor vitae, like that. And then your specimen has a small pons right there, not that big. It's better on the models, right? So pons right there, and then medulla. Yeah?
Okay.
You can see dura, like that. Good?
The fold that goes.
So the whole thing, all this connective tissue is dura. All of this, that's all dura.
Oh, okay.
Yeah?
Okay.
And then for the eye stuff. So a couple things. On this one, you can actually kind of make out like all those like ridges that you're seeing right there for the ciliary bodies. But it's a little harder to see your iris on this one. So if we go to this specimen, it's even easier to see. As you can see the ridges of the ciliary body, and then look at how flat and thin the iris is. So this is the iris right there. See, I'm touching the iris.
Okay.
So this is the colored part of your eye. So when people have blue, then the blue is on the front part right here. Right? Now, notice there's a big opening, there's a gap in the iris. That's the pupil. That's where the light passes through. So that's the pupil, is the hole. And then this cloudy material right here, that's the cornea. So right, there's the cornea right there. Right? If we go past the cornea, then we're going to see this white fibrous connective tissue is the sclera. This is all sclera right here. And then attached to the front of the sclera, remember there was the conjunctiva right here. Okay, attached to the front of the sclera.
Okay.
If we got past the iris and we see where the ciliary body is, that's where the lens used to be attached. So that same, right, those ridges that you see on the ciliary body, they match with the ridges on the lens because the lens was being held in place by the suspensory ligaments to the ciliary body. You can see a little vitreous humor right there attached to the back of the lens.
Okay.
Right? But most of it's gone.
Right.
And then if we look at the back of the bulb of the eye, then all the way at the back of it, then over here, you can actually see that the retina has kind of like fallen away and sloughed off. Right? But this is the retina. This is the retina. And what you can see is where the retina is attaching, right? That one little spot right there. That one little spot where the retina is, that's the optic disc. That's your blind spot right there. And that's where the optic nerve is going through.
Okay.
Yeah?
Awesome. Thank you.